Almost there. Hello, thank you for joining us today. We'll be starting shortly. My name's Jasmine. I'm a course advisor at the Perth campus, which is incredible and it's an amazing time. So here on the screen, you'll notice that we have some very thorough instructions onto how to turn off notifications during this webinar. This will be beneficial for you as it will ensure that you're able to focus throughout the entire session. I'll leave it on the screen for just a moment, so then you can action it. I also just wanted to check that everyone can hear and see the slides as well, and hear me, sorry. Thank you, Maxwell. Welcome back, by the way. So I'll now be going on. Thank you, Marvin. I appreciate it. So today we'll be discussing the undergraduate programs. This will be presented by Emma Hart, who's the Higher Education Manager, as well as Allison Gray, the Student Success Manager. And we'll have our wonderful and excellent student ambassador, Sonam, joining us as well, which will be incredible. Please note that the certificate of attendance will be shared, that link will be shared at the end of the session. The slides, the video, and the certificate of attendance will be delivered to you in approximately 2 business days, I believe. A little bit about EIT. So we're a world class education provider, which is pretty amazing. We're an engineering specialist, so all of our courses are run through international experts in the fields, very much higher education and engineering boutique, and we ensure industry specific and industry orientated. So then when you learn something from us, you'll be able to implement it the very next day, which is pretty amazing. On the screen here, you'll see the results of the government survey that was done, which is pretty incredible, in which we came first place for a few of those areas, which just explains how much effort we put into ensuring students have such an amazing time. Here you'll see the 2 export awards that we won. both nationally and internationally. And then I will bring Emma onto the screen to introduce herself. Oh, apologies.
Thanks, Jasmine. I'll just take over. Okay, so as Jasmine just said, before I move on to who I am and the details, so on the screen there, you'll see our Export Awards. So this is an award specifically for international education and training, so for bringing in international students to study on campus, but also in general for our students around the world and the education that we offer. So it was a huge achievement. We won initially within Western Australia, the state that we're based in, and then nationally for the full Australian award, which we are very, very proud of. So I thought I'd just add to that one from what Jazz just said. So a little bit about me. I am the Higher Education Manager. I am definitely not an engineer, so we're going to be talking about the undergraduate courses today, but also the support that we give through those courses. So I'm not an engineer. My background is in languages, linguistics, and teaching originally. And I've been working in the education sector across international student sector as well as the domestic sector within Australia for quite a long time now. My focus is to work with the higher education team that we have here and make sure that students have a seamless experience from their initial start with us all the way through to graduation. And in order to do that, I need lots of help. So I'm actually going to introduce Allison Gray, who's our student support manager, who works alongside me here in Perth in Australia and looks after a lot of our students, or all of our students online and on campus, looks after our learning support officers and the student services team. So I think before I move on, Ali, do you want to come on and present and tell everybody about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I don't have a little slide on myself, but my name is Allison Gray. I'm the student support manager here. And Emma and I work very closely together to make sure that all our students are being supported around the world. So we have a team of learning support officers and our student services, which I will touch base on a little bit later on. But our focus is that student support. So we understand life can be very crazy, adding study on top of that with working and personal commitments. It's a lot. So we are there to support you from day one through to the end of your course. And that is our aim. And I won't harp on about that now, but we will touch base on that on all the support that we have available. I've been working with EIT for 20 years now. And as much as we like to support the students, EIT is there to support the staff. So it's an amazing company to work for. In the support is not only for our students but for the staff, and it's fantastic to work here. But I will now hand back to you, Emma.
Thanks, Ali. Okay, so what we'll go through is a little bit about our undergraduate courses that we offer and how students are able to progress through to different levels. We'll then talk about some of the support as well as the practical learning aspects that we have within our courses. So starting first off, we're going to look at our undergraduate courses listed here, and specifically our undergraduate certificates. So our undergraduate certificates are the first step really into higher education. So these are a course that consists of 4 units, and students can complete these units in one semester, or you could take 1 unit in each semester. So what we find with our students is a lot of, especially online students, have been away from study for some time. Coming back into study is very, very difficult. I'm currently studying myself, and trying to work alongside study is very challenging. So for a lot of our students, what they decide to do is come into our undergraduate certificates. So we have these within engineering foundations, civil, mechanical, electrical and industrial automation. Now, a lot of our students step into these. They will do the 4 units. From there, if they decide that they're enjoying study, they want to move further, they can then move into our bachelor courses. Now, the Engineering Foundations course specifically are 4 of our core units, specifically across all of our disciplines. So we sometimes get students who come in and aren't quite sure. They're thinking about electrical, but then also maybe industrial automation, but aren't 100% sure, and also aren't sure if coming back into education is the right decision for them. So a lot of them will go into the engineering foundations of that first step. At that point, once you've completed this undergraduate certificate, you have that choice to move into the bachelor program. The 4 units that you would study within here would be then credited into the bachelor. So the units that you study in here are the exact same units from the bachelor program. So you'd find that you would be sitting in classes with students who are also in the bachelor program. And so you would be given credit for those. So if you decided to move into the next stage of your learning, you wouldn't have to repeat any of these. So you would complete with a certificate and you will get your certification for this. Then you could move into the bachelor and then you'd be given your certification for the bachelor program as well. So you'd essentially have 2 qualifications, but the units you have here would be credited. So as I just said, looking at that, you've got those 4 units per semester, or you can break those up a little bit. A study period in a semester lasts 12 weeks. So you've got 12 study weeks, you have a mid-semester break, you have study breaks and you have exams. You have a minimum of 3 years to complete this. So if you decided that you only wanted to complete 1 unit per semester, that would take you 2 years. If, for example, you decided you needed a semester break, maybe you have a very busy project at work, you can't commit to that specific study period, you are able to defer, but you must complete the undergraduate certificate within 3 years. So you can't be doing this for the next 10 years, but it is very flexible. We often have students who may start and think, yep, I can do 4 units, but decide after a couple of weeks it's a very heavy load, so they will drop down to 3 or maybe 2. And then the same the next study period. As I've said, all of these units that are completed will be credited towards the bachelor degree if you choose to continue on. So it is no extra time sort of studying. You actually then will have the semester or however many semesters you take here added into your bachelor as well. So they will all be credited across if you choose to. So then looking specifically at our bachelor degrees, okay, so we have, again, the 4 specific streams: civil, mechanical, electrical and industrial. Now we have our bachelor degrees online, but we also have them on campus. So just noting, the undergraduate certificates are only online. We do not run these on campus. They are for online study only. But if you were an international student, you initially studied our undergraduate certificate from your home country online, and then you came to Australia for the bachelor, you would still be given those 4 units of credit. Okay. So we have, as I said, the 4 streams. You will find in there there are a batch of units, a lot of the units that are common units throughout each stream. And then when you get more so into your 2nd and 3rd years, then you stream off into your specific discipline. So there are all up 25 units, okay? We have 24 of those units at 3 credit points, and then you have your final unit, your capstone project, which is 9 credit points. You also have what we call some practical learning involved. We have workshops and we have industrial experience. These are 0 credit units, but are compulsory units to complete. So along with your theory and studying within your classes, we also expect students to have practical hands-on experience. So we do run workshops, and for on-campus students, we work alongside them with internships and to help students get these internships so they can satisfy the industrial experience unit. For our online students, a lot, not all, but a high majority are working in industry. And so they actually apply for recognition of prior learning for the workshops and industrial experience. So if you are someone who is currently working and you've been working for a period of time and you have lots of hands-on experience already, then you most probably will be able to apply for recognition of prior learning for these 0 credit modules. They are compulsory to either complete or to gain RPL for them. So we'll talk a little bit more about those as we go through. So in general with our courses, as I said, it's sort of broken into 3 main areas. So you've got the learning, and this is a lot of the theory. You'll be going to your tutorials, listening to your tutors, your lecturers and so on. But then we have those practical experience, those workshops that we run, but we also have what we call remote and virtual labs, which I'll talk about in a few slides as well. So we have a very practical hands-on component to it. So it is not just sitting in the classroom and learning theory. And then, as I've mentioned, we have the work integrated learning component, which is the industrial experience that all students are required to complete. So there are 240 hours of experience that students need to gain. And again, those who are working in industry usually already have that and can apply for RPL. But if not, for on-campus students, we work with you on gaining that internship. But for those online, if you're struggling to find those opportunities, our work integrated learning coordinator can work very closely with you to help you get that experience required. So at this point, I'm going to pass over to Ali. And as we said, Ali looks after our learning support team and our student services team. So she focuses on the support of students throughout your journey. So over to you, Ali.
Fantastic. Thanks, Emma. So as I said earlier, our focus is on that student support. So firstly, I just want to ask everyone that is here joining us, who is or who hasn't studied for a number of years and who would be coming back to study? Feel free to put in the chat box. Hopefully everyone's listening to me. So I just wanted to gauge how many would be new back to studying. As Emma said, a lot of our online students are working full-time and they haven't studied for a number of years. So we definitely want to support that in your learning journey at EIT. So we have a number of support here, and part of that is the learning support, but also that student support. So as you can see on the screen there, we have our learning support officers. So for each unit, you will have a learning support officer, and they are your go-to person for that unit. So if you're doing 2 units or 4 units at a time, you may have different learning support officers, or you may have the same learning support officer. So they are there to help navigate the learning management system with you to make sure that everything is understood. They're there to upload all the materials, send announcements to make sure that you know when assessments are coming up, and making sure that everything you need for your studies to be successful is there ready for you. They're always available on phone, email, meetings face-to-face if you're here at campus. But they are definitely dedicated to helping your learning support. They will also help with your course progression. So if they notice that maybe you're falling a little bit off track, they can reach out to myself and student services, just give it a little bit more support that way. They will also make sure that you understand and know when all your classes are, how you can access all that. As I said, there is a lot to learn as you're coming back, and also learning a new way with EIT. So it's making sure that you know the systems and that you are. Oh, thanks, Jazz. Yeah, please feel free to put in the Q&A if you do have any questions, but otherwise we can answer those at the end also. Um, whoop, don't know what I've done there, Jazz. You might need to fix that. Sorry. Um, as I said, so student support is my forte, not tech support. So hopefully you can all see that there. So on top of our learning support officers to support you, we also have our student support services. They are there for your personal well-being, your health, you know, any challenges that come up that isn't to do with your learning there. So if you need a little bit of assistance with that academic support, your English support, we can have that available. They also have a huge array of study resources available for you, so they can help get you back into that study. Is that showing up fine there, Jazz, for you guys?
Yeah, I can see it. Student support
Yep.
services.
Okay, it's just showing a little bit funny for me at my end. And then what we do find with a lot of our students, regardless if they're online or at campus, and our international students, is it is a lot. So things come up, we understand things come up, you know, day-to-day life, working. So this can get in the way of sometimes, you know, being successful in your unit. So we're there to help with the personal issues as much as we can to help make sure that you are successful in those units. If you have some medical conditions or need a bit of extra disability support there, we can also look at some different you know, things to put in place to support that. So if you need extra time on those assessments, then we can work with your doctor and make sure that you're getting that support there too. Policies and procedures, is anyone who has read a policy or procedure know there's a huge amount of information there, so we can make sure that you understand, you know, everything that needs the processes, so you're not left by yourself. On Moodle, we have our learning management system. So we will have a dedicated page to student support, and this is where we have all the resources available for you. So there could be simple things, breathing techniques to help with that sort of mental health leading up to exams. It could be just helping with study skills and time management to make sure that you're getting all your assessments in on time. So that will be made available once you're a student. Everyone, whether it's student services, myself, Emma, Jazz, admin, will be there to help you with the software that you will need throughout your course. So some of the software and programs that we do use is Moodle. So this is our learning management system where you will be set up and be able to access all the materials, your grades, assessments. Big Blue Button is similar to what we're using now with Teams, but it's that virtual classroom. So that's where you'll join your classmates and your lecturer, and that's where the classes will be in there. With our on-campus students, we have those face-to-face classes as well as the hybrid sort of format where the lecturers will stream in there. Iris is a invigilation software, so we use these for our exams or any mid-semester tests that we have coming up, and this is just to make sure you know, the academic integrity at EIT is high, and that we make sure that everyone is doing the right thing there. Remote labs, so I think Emma will touch base a little bit on this after, but remote labs it's amazing. So we understand a lot of the programs and software that you will need for your assessments can be really expensive, and we don't expect students to pay for that and use all your money paying for these programs that you may only use once. So we make these available through our remote labs, and this means that you can work on your assessment, utilize these software and these programs. When, you know, if Sonam's at home, she can use that instead of buying the expensive programs to make sure that she can get those assessments done. We also have the Microsoft Office package all available through the student email that you will be given upon your enrolment. And Paradigm is where we keep all the contact information, where you can view your invoices and submit applications. So that's just a little snapshot of some of those programs that you will use. But as I said, the learning support officers and all the support team will help you navigate through all those programs there. And I just saw a couple of chats, but I think Jazz has answered those, so I'll hand back to you, Emma.
Thanks, Ali. So as I mentioned earlier, we don't just have a theory-based course. There is a huge practical learning component to our courses. So Ali just touched on it earlier, and I previously mentioned about our remote and virtual labs, which I'll actually show you in the next slide. So this is where you can control equipment. So again, as Ali said, a lot of the software and applications that students may need can be expensive. So we give you access to these, but also give you access to real-time remote software. So you can be doing your experiments and your lecturers will be telling you which ones to do. They will be part of your courses. So you can do these in real time as if you were actually standing in the lab doing it as well. It is, as well as we mentioned, complemented by workshops and the work integrated learning. So it's not just doing simulations and using the remote and virtual labs. Again, there is the more hands-on practical component, and the image you see here is actually at our campus here in Perth. You see the lady on the left in the white coat is one of our course coordinators for civil. That's Dr. Anna Evangelista, and these guys are in one of their civil workshops focusing on concreting. So they do all of these workshops on site here. We also run them in South Africa. So for students who are online and aren't able to apply for RPL and need to do these workshops, we have the option for students to be able to come to Perth, or if you are based in and around South Africa, we have them available there. If not, and you still can't apply for RPL, we actually work alongside you to look at what experience you have. If you are working, how can we adapt the activities that are normally in these workshops that you can do within your workplace as well. So there's lots of different practical elements that we can work with you, and we can be very flexible in how we do that. So back to those remote and virtual labs, as we mentioned. So we have our own lab hosting platform. It's called ElectroMeet, and it does connect you to real-time computers and labs. So we've got our virtual labs, obviously. So it's computers hosting software for a range of applications. And you can go in and virtually do a whole range of things. But as I've mentioned, those remote labs, so we actually have them set up around the world. We have some set up here in Australia, we have in South Africa, and we also have some based in the UK as well. So students are able to book into these virtual and remote labs and are able to then conduct their experiments. So again, the remote ones, very similar as if you were sitting in one of our labs on site, on campus, controlling it. So you can control it from your computer. They have the webcams watching and you can control that software. So we use this for both our on-campus and our online courses. So very practical in nature. So moving on slightly, so entry requirements, fees and payments, we won't go through all of them because there are a lot of different entry requirements. These are based on where you've studied, your country, and the qualification that you've previously done. So they can be found on our website. Fees as well, you will see those on the website. It will tell you when you list out which country you are coming from, which mode of study you are going to study in. It will give you those options for the fees. The fees are issued per study period, and it's based on the number of units that you do. So it's not the same amount each time. So for example, if you are studying 4 units, your fees for that specific semester will be for 4 units, but then if you drop for the next semester, it will drop accordingly. So it is based on per unit. And there are a range of ways to pay. So some of our students pay monthly on installments, some pay upfront. And for any of our Australian citizens, we actually have fee help. So that is the government funding. So you're able to access that. We also have a variety of partial scholarships available. And again, we won't go through all of them in detail, but please do go and have a look at our website and you can look at those scholarships and what is specifically available. So just jumping back into the courses and our lecturers. So our lecturers are actually based all around the world. So on campus, obviously, if you are here on campus, and we have our bachelor program here in Perth, a lot of our lecturers are based here in Perth in Australia, but for our online students, we've got lecturers based around the world. So this just gives you an idea. This is not only the number of lectures we have. We have hundreds of lecturers from different parts of the world that will join in and will teach you. The great thing about this is they also have a range of different experiences. So our lecturers are not just academics, they are industry experts, they work. I think you'll see the guy in the middle, Hardy Harb. Hardy he teaches a lot of units for us. He is fantastic. He's actually based in Barcelona in Spain. He also runs his own business and he's done a range of different things. So he has some great experience. And the positive thing about this is that our lecturers can bring real world examples and experience into classes. So it is not just theory based. We are not just academics. They all have a range of that experience. So you are able to talk to them and they're able to give you real world examples and apply what you're learning to a real world example. So the great benefit of having them based all around the world and therefore having all of the different experience that they have within industry is amazing. With these guys as well, they do offer academic support. So Ali spoke to you about the student support and student services, the learning support officers and so on. Of course, there is also academic support. So our academic faculty will look after your full learning experience. They're the ones who run the practicals, the workshops. They'll work with you on remote and virtual labs. And again, with the work integrated learning component. If you're having difficulties, you're finding some of the content difficult, then our academic team will work with you to try and help you and get you up to speed. So Allison and her team, they work very, very closely with the academics and making sure that you are fully supported on both sides. Okay, so I think that's probably enough from listening to Ali and I. I think the best experience is actually learning from those who are currently in there studying with us. So I'd like to pass over to Sonam, one of our great students here. So Sonam, it's all yours.
Thank you, Emma and Allison. Hi, everyone. My name is Zangmo, and I'm currently studying my Master's of Engineering in Electrical Systems. I'm a student here in Perth campus, and I'm also a student ambassador, which means I got to share my experience with you today. When I started, I had the same questions you might have now. Will this course be practical? Will I fit in? Will it prepare me for the real world? So I would like to give you an honest look at what studying here really looks like. So what drew me to EIT is it was focused on real world engineering, not just theory based. So I wanted to graduate with skills I could use straight away. Things like working with industry software, handling lab equipment, and solving actual engineering problems. Like Emma shared the remote labs and that we have in Perth. I mean, we can use it. The remote lab we can use it with our own laptop and get access through it. So the support and also the supportive staff also made me feel like I wasn't just another number. That personal touch made my decision easier, and being on campus gave me access to labs, structured learning, and students from all around the world. And studying on campus has been such a rewarding experience. The face-to-face interaction that you get with the lecturers and also the classmates creates a strong learning community. And when you're working on a project, having people around you who have faced the same challenges makes a huge difference, I would say. And the structured schedule that keeps that is the structured schedule that the EIT has keeps me motivated, and the friendships I've built that have made me grow not just professionally but personally too. Sorry. And one of the best parts of studying at EIT is being able to apply what I learned directly to the real projects. For example, in my power system unit, I learned analysis methods that I could immediately apply to the assignments I'm doing, and also the part-time work I do. And it's not just technical knowledge, no knowledge like skills like project planning, problem solving, and communication. And communication are the things I use every day. So it feels like I'm preparing for my career, not just for exams. And I'll be honest, at first I was nervous choosing EIT over a big name university. Like uh, like everyone else would be choosing EIT over other universities like the big ones. So I wondered if it would give me the same recognition, but those worries disappeared quickly. Like EIT's strength is its specialization, and the courses are focused, taught by industry professionals, and always updated to match the real world, and also the support and the chance to collaborate with students globally created such a vibrant environment. So looking back, I'm really glad that I chose EIT and I trusted the process for it. And one thing EIT does really well is prepare you for the workforce. The lecturers bring industry experience into the classroom, and assessments bring real engineering tasks. And it also focuses a lot on professional skills, communication, teamwork, and project management. And like Emma said, we have the industry like work integrated learning that you have to do to graduate. So if you do not do that one, you can't graduate. So that's how the EIT helps you to get the real world experience and also prepares you for it. The combination that gives me confidence for interview, internships, and future roles are what EIT provides. Like I know I'm not just learning for a degree, I'm building a career-ready skill set. And how has living and studying in Australia shaped your personal and professional growth during your time with EIT? And personally, I came from a small country like Bhutan, which is small compared to Australia. So living and studying in Australia has been really life-changing. Personally, I've become more independent, adaptable, and confident. And professionally, the practical training and high engineering standards here means the skills I'm learning are globally relevant. And I've also had the chance to network and explore career opportunities I never thought about before. And it's not just a journey, study journey, it's a growth journey. Uh, and another highlight is the tools and labs we get to use. As an electrical engineering student, I work with MATLAB, uh, the Dixilent Power Factory, ETAP, and Homer Pro, which is readily available in remote labs, which are all industry standard. On campus, we also use PLCs, power electronic trainers, the kind of equipment you'll see in the field. I remember the first time I logged into a remote lab and controlled equipment from my laptop. It felt like it's real. It's kind of future of engineering education. And what surprised me most about EIT was how practical the learning is. It's not just lectures. We solve real world problems, use actual engineering software, and work closely with lecturers. The smaller classes mean you get personalized feedback from lecturers and form a close community. And with students from so many countries, it feels like an international family. And I'm in no place to give advice for any new students, but here is my take from what I learned. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be like go all in, like ask questions, use the labs, connect with lecturers, and collaborate with your peers. The more curious and engaged you are, the more you will gain. And also remember why you started, whether it's for career growth, passion for engineering, or to build something new. EIT will give you the resources, but your commitment will turn it into success. So be ready to grow, not just as a student, but as a professional and as a person. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you especially to Emma, Allison, and Sonam. Really appreciate it. On the screen here, you can see that. Sorry, just one moment. On the screen here, you can see a draw that we have at the moment that you can enter to win a prize of 2,000 USD, which is incredible. And then there's 10 runners up. I believe that would be 100 USD each, which is really exciting. I'll share a link to this at the end, or actually on the next slide. As you can see here, the QR code for the certificate of attendance, which is incredible. And I will share the links as well, just for ease of access. And then in there, you can see as well, I've shared a link to our Calendly booking system in which you can book a call to discuss with a course advisor, which is really exciting. I'll bring Allison and Emma back onto the screen for the Q&A section.
While you're doing that, Jazz, can I just say, Sonam, you presented amazing, and I think what you said is it's great for us to know that you feel supported through your journey with EIT. But seeing you from, or knowing you from the start of your course, I can see how much growth you have had, not only with EIT and with your studies, but also doing things with Engineers Australia to help that, and the networking. It's been amazing to watch your journey so far. So I think you should be very proud of where you are now, because
Thank you.
you know, when you first started, who would have thought that you would be here presenting online to future students for EIT? So well done.
Yeah. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, a huge thank you to you. And I think as well, Alison and I can tell everyone about the courses and the support, and we can tell everybody that forever. But the best information comes from students who are going through it. So hearing from current students how they're dealing with it, how they're experiencing it, talking about the labs and the practical component is key, coming from a student who's going through the process right now. So just a huge thank you. I know you're really busy at the minute. I know there's a lot happening, and semester is currently in session, so you're in the midst of classes as well. So again, a huge thank you to you for joining us and sharing your experience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to present. At least I could share what I learned and learn here in Perth. I mean, I can share that one, which I'm grateful to.
Hey, unfortunately, I don't think we have any questions that haven't already been answered. I also want to say, Sonam, you are an incredible inspiration, and it has been amazing to have you here today. So I'm going to take everyone off of screen so then I can do the last little section. On the screen here, you'll see different ways that you can contact us. You can make an inquiry through the course page, or you can click that link that I shared earlier. Please don't be a stranger. We're always happy to assist wherever we can. And thank you all for joining us today. Have a lovely rest of your evening or a lovely day ahead.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.